Tip of the day: you can forgive, but never forget.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Right, Shyamala's daughter was at the castle. Like everyone.
Oh shit. Damn. Hopefully I didn't talk to her.
Oh, we did, and we embarrassed ourselves completely.
Play Jazz a call. Major decision, 14-4.
Boom! So here we are, another episode of the Breakfast Buffet. And this is a very special episode. We're going to cover a lot of topics and got two very professional guests, right? Astound guests. Some of my favorite guests, some of my favorite people. We got Nicky Barbs, last episode, but Nicky, tell everyone about yourself in case they don't know.
Okay, my name's Nicky Barbs. I've known Ray and Nick for a good minute now through my old friend, a wrestler that knows them both through wrestling. I work in a power plant. I have 2 years power plant experience and then 7 years doing road construction. And that's what I bring to the table for this podcast.
And of course, we have Nick Velez, one of my oldest friends, my oldest buddy. Velez, God bless, God willing. How you doing?
God bless, God willing. Addition to as well as very much professionalism.
And we're going to cover all those things. And so they already know about Nicky Barbs. And here we have Nick Velez, who's been in school for about 25 years already. You know, I call him a professional.
25 years.
A professional student. NCAA runner-up, finalist, legendary wrestler. So what's going on, Nick?
So, just same old thing. Gonna be in 21st grade. Gonna be graduating from 21st grade in about 6 months. Doing a lot, staying busy, always trying to self-improve myself, and that's what I'm all about, just trying to find that another level, and get to that, and just chasing down success. That's all I care about, really.
Right, and every different. So how many different colleges now? So it was like you got your BS at Ithaca, right? And then what went after that?
So I got my Bachelor's of Science at Ithaca, and then now I'm at University of Bridgeport, and I'll tell you, like, that school is a hidden gem.
And you went to China. You went to China for it, right? You went to China.
Well, that's what kind of started the whole thing, because being an athlete, we always strive to like get an edge in competition. Try to find like natural ways to heal our body. And so then I got into this cool program in my undergrad where I went to China and I studied this stuff: acupuncture, herbal medicine, and what TCM is. TCM in China is very big. They can, there's TCM hospitals.
So if someone were to go to you, right, to get treatment, what are some things that they would get treated for, and what would you prescribe them with?
So on the NIH website, you can look up the fact sheet for acupuncture, and that's what the research says, that acupuncture has effect in treating.
East Coast, when the seasons change a lot, especially seasonal allergies, what is something that you would give someone that has that? A lot of it, because that's a big problem.
Yeah, so typically, like, the medicine is very individualized. So you'd come in, we do a consult, and then we would figure out a specific treatment for you. And a common saying in TCM is same disease, different treatment, different disease, same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a common kind of like saying. It basically says that, like, if you have two patients coming in and they're presenting the same, they may have a different cause for their condition. So you have to go the extra mile and figure out what is causing that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the winter, man. I don't know. I don't have seasonal allergies, but in the winter, my nose is like, I feel like I have allergies.
Yeah, you always get like a certain wave of patients in different seasons. You get your like winter patients who maybe they have some arthritis that the cold is aggravated by, or they're susceptible to some type of cold pathogen that get a nasal laryngeal infection, or some type of asthma. It gets worsened at this time of the weather. So yeah.
With that, are they taking like herbal medicines you give them, or is this all acupuncture?
So it would be a mix of both. So we would do an acupuncture treatment that day. And that's another really big thing about acupuncture. Okay? And then if you were a good herb candidate, then we would either prescribe a specific formula for you, or we would, maybe make some dietary advice. But yeah, so that's typically how it works. I traveled a lot of places. I lived in Iceland, I went to Australia, I went to Italy, I went to Colombia. I've been to many places. Probably forgetting some right now. And you when you travel like that, you learn a whole new way of life.
Yeah.
Like everything you thought you knew was important back at US, you go to other countries and they're not even thinking about the shit that you think is important.
Nope. Yeah.
And then to be surrounded, like to immerse yourself actually into that, and for a while, for like a month or at least 2 months, it really breaks down a lot of like kind of like false truths that you had about like what is important.
Right.
Yeah. The norms,
Yeah, you're breaking the norms. Like, oh wow, like I don't have to cut my hair. No, just kidding.
And also, it's probably a detox from actually the world that we live in here, with social media and like just dating and all that is just out the window. Yeah. You're immersed into this world that you never seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's seriously like, think about what you would do if you didn't have your phone, and like the only form of entertainment was like what's in front of you.
That's what I like. I like that. So wherever that is, maybe I need to go there too.
Yeah, because it's like we're back in the States. It's like everyone talks about toxic environment and who you surround yourself with. Over there's not really toxic environments, just different.
Not only that, like there is everyone has their like political, or not political, but like kind of like, I guess, like zeitgeist of the era or whatever. But when you are in a place where it's 12 hours difference, so when you guys are sleeping, I'm out there and I'm on my phone. So it's crazy, bro. If you're on your phone and everyone on Instagram is like, they're sleeping, dude, it's not crazy at all. Like, it's not a distraction. So just like that was a big difference too. So it just goes to show, like, if you want to repeat that, shut off your phone for a whole day.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes some people might do that, but I don't think that's
no. Yeah, you're right, because it's like you're a different time zone. I mean, even when I was in Vegas, it was 3 hours behind, but still, like, you were like getting stuff like 3 hours behind, or when you're up doing stuff, everyone was still sleeping. But I couldn't imagine the 12 hours.
Yeah, I think it highlights like how much energy you actually put into that shit.
Right.
Oh, and then when I'm like having an authentic experience,
Right. That's what I like too. Like when I go and visit my buddies, I want to see what you're doing on a daily basis. Like, I don't want to see the tourist traps. I want to see how you're living. And you did that in Iceland. That was crazy. You you milked a goat and you did all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I was out there, like, and they lean into that Viking narrative too. Like, they really think that they're Odin's kids,
Yeah. And that's the blue collar work ethic, man, that you brought back here. Or even just growing up, that tough, like we said, you are who you surround yourself with, and and your culture of around you. Not only, like, we think about being from New Jersey, but every town, or even with New York, every town has a different, like, not culture, but different kind of mentality, Yeah, no,
I agree. Like, there's different mentalities, And you mentioned the blue collar mentality. What did you mean by that exactly? Or Nick, why don't we let Nicky Barbs chime in on this?
Yeah.
Blue collar mentality, as in what? What did you want to know exactly for the blue collar mentality? Like
Like if you were to
what life is
describe,
like?
well, the blue collar mentality is like, in my opinion, it's like a roughneck mentality. Like it's like you're
It's
hard
good.
workers. You go to work every day. You don't complain. Stuff
Very
like
physical. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's days 100% that I'm miserable, and the next couple days I'm miserable because I've been working continuous hours. But you got to keep on going because no one wants to hear you complaining when you're with about six other guys, and some of them are 30 years older than you, old men. They don't want to hear you bitch and complain. So if you're in pain, I mean, you could call out sick, but everyone's going to look at you like you're a little bitch. And
that.
and also for me being a young guy in like a workplace like that is like if I call out and that guy who's my partner, who's a 65-year-old man, goes into work and he's working all day doing all the jobs because I'm homesick, then that I'm sorry for myself. That's holding myself, to a certain way of me like, oh wow, what am I doing? This guy, he ain't complaining. This guy's 65 years old, limping, got pain, and he's talking about pain in his legs, and he can barely walk, and he's keeping up with the rest of the guys. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, it's very like that's what I think this like upcoming generation does not have at all.
no,
Like
no,
I just think that like the upcoming people, like there's a select few,
Yep.
and there's very like few ways, and it's not even, you can't even fault them, because I just feel like there's very few ways that they can even have experiences to kind of gain that. Like
Right.
unless you, like if you don't wrestle or play like some type of physical sport where it's not going to be fun all the time. You're not going out there swinging a bat. You're not saying that baseball is easy, but it's different.
yeah,
Right.
So like I feel like the way the world is turning, they don't have any. Everything is so sheltered. Everything is
Yeah.
so
Well, I think they have too
regulated.
many. They have too many resources. That's it. They have too many resources, and they don't really figure stuff out by themselves. You know what I
yeah,
meing? Like everything's easy for them.
yeah.
If
Well,
you
they
have a
want.
problem, you just Google it.
Yeah, exactly. They want instant gratification. They don't want to work for it or put in the pain because they never done it before. Some people, maybe they went through some things in their life where this work is not really, it doesn't really affect them at all because they've already numb to other things. So I see like I see some people in like the blue collar um, you know field. Some guys, maybe they were a drug addict. Maybe they didn't grow up with parents. Maybe they've been in and out of jail. I remember seeing guys that when I did Blacktop, I was on different crews. Half the crews, some of them were like drug dealers or drug addicts and like out of jail. Some guys were homeless, but they were going there because they were, offered the job. They had to make money if it was either for the week or for the month or for the drugs, but they had a
Yeah,
place to go and they worked hard because they knew they had to keep their job. And then
Right.
yeah,
some people,
exactly.
you got
I
people
like
that
both.
are cutting corners.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think we grew up in the perfect era where it was a mixture of both, where we grew up without social media and stuff, and everything was just coming to us, kind of like during the high school. So it was kind of like we grew up without it, but then we grew up with it. You know what I mean? Where the generation a little bit behind us grew up kind of with it. You
Yeah.
know.
I
But
think they're getting consumed by it. Like it's just consuming them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like they don't have any personality. And from my experience meeting the like younger people, it's just like they are their personality is just flat. Like they have no
well,
person.
yeah, it seems like they get everything through what's popular on Instagram or what's popular in
Yeah,
the zeitgeist of like of what's going on in the social media realm. When us it was like what was popular is what we saw on TV. But we didn't really try to copy it. like this TikTok stuff. All these kids try to copy the TikTok dances or the TikTok, stuff they have on it. So it's like I feel like they're trying to just show their personality through your phone. Where with us, it was like our personality was with our friends and our people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's one thing, and then also, you ever just be on your phone for like a couple hours, and then you just put it down, you're like, what the fuck was I even looking at?
Yeah, you're just wasting time.
I just wasted 2 hours of my life thinking through a box into an internet world that no one cares. You know what I'm saying? I did not benefit at all from it. Maybe you learned some things. Maybe you learned some things. That's what I like about Instagram. Yeah. I learned information, and then there's the mix of bullshit.
Well, that's the thing. It could be a great resource if you do it well, but we get distracted. I think everyone gets distracted by some of the things on it. But for me, it's part of my job. And like for me, with wrestling, it is like you're driving 5-6 hours of places to wrestle in front of people, and I have to use social media. That's part of the new zeitgeist. That's how you market yourself. That's how you market what you do. So I feel like the blue collar is kind of shifting gears on what it could be. Where it is like blue collar could be like building your own online business at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's a different type of stuff that you could do. Like you still have those jobs that are blue collar. It's just now this added thing of social media.
Did we lose Nicky Barbs?
No, he's still here. We got him.
Oh, I think you lost me for a sec.
No,
I lost you.
But that's how it is. It's very relatable. Even with wrestling, like you say, call out sick. I can't call out sick. If I call out sick, someone's gonna take my spot. If I call out sick, I upset some of the fans that came to see me. You know what I mean? But we all got that hustle from different things, and that all came from wrestling in high school and in college. You're there for your teammates. If you're sick, you had to get better, or else someone else was getting better. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's the life lessons that you learn from it. Learning from a loss, right? If you lose, you learn how to come back and learn how to sink or swim, right? There's no losing if you learn from it, right? If you lost a match on that Saturday tournament, you're coming back Monday learning how to beat that guy or learning the techniques.
Yeah, and like you to even make it simpler than that, like learning that like you can lose, like losing, like it's gonna happen, and like building a healthy relationship with not maybe going for things knowing that it might not go out in your favor. But you're just going to try your best and try your hardest to make it work. But, that's another thing that I think a lot of people can benefit from if they get comfortable with not being afraid to fail. Don't let fear paralyze you. Just go for what you want to do and just be okay with it. If it goes out however it's supposed to go out, that's a strong, like, faith. When you talk,
you're in it for the ride,
Yeah, and it teaches you how to overcome adversity. Wrestling, like the adversity on the mat with your partners, with your friends. It teaches you how to just hustle through it, right? Even though
wrestling will turn you into, a warrior. Like, wrestling is so important. And it's such a good experience for people to have, and I would always recommend someone to wrestle because even though we don't have a professional league and you're not going on like, the MLB has like 7 different leagues. You graduate, you can play, you have a shot at going on 7 different leagues or whatever. Wrestling doesn't have that. But I would still advise everyone to do it because, A, what are the chances of you getting on a major league anyway? And then B, the lessons that you learn in wrestling translate to everything else. It's a fight for survival. That's where you learn how to be humble because you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like you're gonna come along someone who's gonna kick your ass. Yep. So now you learn, okay, I've got to be humble. I know where I am. I got to get better. Someone is better than me. All right. And then number 2, you learn that if you really want something, you have to work hard. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand. Like, they get easily discouraged when things don't go perfect. But, I had 138 wins in college. All right? College wrestling wins. And I had about 30 losses. Right?
I had 149, by the way, wins. Just saying.
Well, yeah, I didn't
Zero.
match my senior year.
I'm just kidding. But
Pulled out a couple tournaments, but we
but
won't talk about that. We won't talk
but
about that. But
even it you could see not instant gratification, but you could see your hard work go to play. You know, say that like you lost to someone in the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year you get revenge and you beat them back. You know, it's like you put in the work, you could see the results. And I had that conversation today. Today was the first day of the high school wrestling season. Last year we had 34 signups at the beginning of the year. This year we went from 34 kids to 74. We had 74 kids at practice today. Now, whether 74 stick it out, I don't know. But that says a lot. That says I'm growing the sport and people want to wrestle. And I told them, I said, I know not a lot of you guys are going to stick it out, but some of the guys that are on the fence, this is the best sport to be in. I know it's hard, but everything that's
regardless if they start. Listen, you have 74 kids, right?
Yeah.
What is there? 14 spots.
Yeah.
So not even
Damn.
like what is that? A third of the kids are not gonna ever see the mat.
No, but that's what JV's for. But it's about the culture. That's what I said. I said it's about the brotherhood. Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
that's what I was getting to.
But
that even though they might never start, or they maybe the first year they won't get a couple matches or something like that. The practices and the mentality that you're working on, like there's nothing better you could be doing with your time, especially at that age, like at a developmental age like that. Like that's the perfect time to develop all those hardworking skills, because when you get older, you're not going to be able to work that hard.
Exactly.
You know, and then it's a confidence builder too, because then when you have some adversity, you can think back at like, oh, you know, I still think about it too. Like, oh, this is like that one match when I was down by a point, 15 seconds left, and I got a takedown. Like this is like that, you know, or this is just like that loss I took first round, and I came back and took third. Like, you know, it's something that you can look back on and it builds your confidence.
Yeah, and I tell them, what's the worst that could happen? What are you going to be doing in the winter anyway? You wrestle, you make friends for life, you get into better shape, and you get more confident about yourself, which is fantastic. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and
I mean, the getting in better shape thing that's all you fucking should sign up for. You know, just sign up to get in better shape, and then if you get good at it, then congrats, you have something to do. But like,
yeah. And I'm proud of like a lot of my high school, even when I coached middle school, a lot of my high school kids now, even though they didn't wrestle in college, they went on to do different things and they're good at it. Like this one kid that I coached, once he graduated, he got into bodybuilding and he won his first bodybuilding competition. And then he won his second one. And he said, Coach, like if it wasn't for wrestling, man, this like bodybuilding's easy compared to what I did my senior year in high school. I go, good. That was the point of it.
You know what I just thought of? That's like the transitive thing is crazy, because even me, while I'm in school and I'm doing something, I'm not active at all. Like I teach one wrestling class a week. It's like a 40-minute wrestling class. One of my friends is gym. You know, but I still am able to take the skills from like a highly physical activity sport and apply them to like mental training, mental obstacles and stuff like that. Instead of like, oh, I got to go, you know, go to the gym, work on this, and then go to practice. It's like, oh, I'm going to the library, and then I'm going to do some research on the computer. But it's the same drive that's like, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, this is like when I was going to the gym late night.
Yeah, you know? It's a different hustle. And then same way, if I'm on the road for 6-7 hours, there's nothing open to eat, I revert to cutting weight. I'm like, this is nothing compared to cutting weight. All I do is drive home. I'm not hungry. I just got to get home, man. But even with that, you know, even like, you know, we brought up like revenge, and, you know, the jazz tip of the day was always you can forgive but never forget. And you don't forget some of those losses. You don't forget, you know, some things that happen. You know what I mean? You might forgive them. You're like, you know, I lost that guy, you know, but I'm not forgetting that moment, you know.
Yeah. I mean, so Nicky Barbs, you said you had a revenge story before.
What is the revenge? Hold on, I want to say this story first before we get into revenge. One of my favorite stories about Velez was we were at a party, and Velez starts, because Velez can speak Mandarin, he can speak Chinese.
Oh,
and he
no, cut.
No, we got. I'll be
Oh,
I'll be good with this
bro.
story. So Velez starts
Don't even-
speaking. Velez starts
no.
speaking Mandarin out of nowhere.
True.
He starts speaking Mandarin out of nowhere, and people think that he's BSing people.
They
And
think
then
I'm being like,
yeah, like he
and
thinks
I'm
he's like
actually
messing with people,
speaking.
and he's actually speaking Mandarin. And then
I'm actually speaking Mandarin.
people are looking it up on their phones to see what he's saying, if he's actually speaking it, and he's
And
speaking it.
they Google translated me, and it came out to exactly what I said. I told them what I was gonna say, and I said it in Mandarin,
Yeah,
and then it came out on Google Translate exactly
yeah.
like that.
How
Uh,
great is that?
So
Talk
that's
about judge
basically
the book by the cover. Who would have thought Velez would be speaking Mandarin? But that was probably a hard language to learn. You've got it down though, most of it at least, or some of it.
Well, you just get a couple phrases. You ask how to get a bottle of water. Where's the bathroom? Hi, what's your name? You get like a handful of phrases down, and you can navigate pretty good. I'm telling you. How much is it? You just point how much.
Yeah.
They give you, and then you know your numbers. And the Mandarin numbers are very easy, because instead of saying like 91, they just say 91, or you can get away with saying 91.
Right.
Like you don't have to, it doesn't change.
So everyone thought he was being a jerk till all of a sudden he was the coolest guy at the party because he was speaking Mandarin, and people,
oh, okay,
Yeah.
All right. So
So
what's your revenge story, Mr. Nicky Barbs?
Well, I would say I don't know if it's revenge, but I got what was coming for me.
Okay.
As in people were. This is the thing. In the work environment, people were saying, "Oh yeah, you won't be this, you won't be that," because when I worked at this one plant, there was two positions. There was a labor position, and then above that was an operator position. And this one guy was like, "Oh yeah, you'll never be an operator. You always be a shit shoveler. You always be. And I was just like, "Oh, okay. And I mean, I worked as hard as I could to get to the operator position, but they wanted to give me the job because they didn't have no one in my position because everyone quit because it was so hard. So like, yeah, we can't take you out of that position because we have no one to fill your spot, and you're the leader of. There was like only 3 guys, and I was the leader of them. And so they finally gave me a chance to get an interview for the operator position, but when this was all before this interview came up, I was already looking for another job. So I did an interview at another plant, a whole different plant, and I got a job or went on an interview. So I'm at the original plant. Like I said, I was there, and they gave me an interview for the operator position. And I said, "Oh, you guys are finally giving me a shot." And they're like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah. Why do you think you're a good candidate? Da da da." And then they say, "All right, well, we'll let you know about our decision." They needed people, and they said they were going to interview me, but they were still going to wait on their decision. So I was like, "All right." So the next day, I get an email from the new plant. They say, "Congratulations, we'd like you to work for us." Blah blah blah. I got the job. I went into the office to the plant manager and said, "I'm putting my 2 weeks in." And they're like, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I got an operator job up the river." And everyone in the whole plant was like, "Oh shit." And let's just say it was a big leap in money, and it was like a better plant overall. So I basically put everyone to shame that talked shit about me. And now the same people that were talking shit about me at the other plant are trying to hit me up at my job now to get a job. And I said, "Wait, were you that guy?"
yeah, they switch up on you real quick,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. And
Hey,
I'm
they go,
sitting there.
"Hey,
I
buddy,
said,
what are you doing, my man? You're looking good over there."
I had one guy said, old guy, because there was a whole bunch of guys in the plant. And I would, for the labor position, you could go around the whole plant. You're doing different jobs, so you could talk to the different departments, the mechanics, which are like, those guys are like kind of mean, and they work on shit all day. Then there was the E&I guys, which are the electricians. They're more like socially awkward and like intelligent. And then you had the operators. There was like ex-convicts, like a bunch of nut jobs. Then there was also some smart guys. I remember one of the guys said when I left that plant, he said, look at what they said about Nick. They said, oh, he wouldn't be this and wouldn't be that. Now he's making more money than the whole plant. And I was like, damn, someone said that about me? And I was just like, damn, but that's a little revenge story. Not that
that's revenge and that's adversity. That's revenge and adversity.
Yeah, well, I didn't really want to put it at revenge like that, but, that's the only revenge I ever got.
And it's important that you shared that because, like, a lot of people do fall for that. They'll be like, oh, yeah, he hit me up now. And maybe they might help that person out. And that person might turn their back on them, And you always have to ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, would it be the same? If you're asking a favor from me, do I genuinely believe that if the roles were reversed, like you would do me, like the way I would do where you're asking for?
Yeah.
But that's great because a lot of people, like the negativity that people give, you can't do this, you can't do that. Sometimes that discourages people. Where you went the opposite way. No, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
And that's the same way that I do with wrestling and everything that I do. It's like there's not negativity, but it's a rough business where everyone is chasing after the same thing. You know what I mean? But if you truly know you could do something, just keep getting after it. Don't care what people say. If you whatever it is, as long as you keep working, you'll get to it.
If you put the work in and then there's a lot of slugs around you, you'll stick out. And then most of the people won't like you because you're outshining them. You're not doing it to outshine anyone really. You're just doing it because you already have in you the hard work.
Right.
And also when you get mentally in your head of doing something, like you want to do it harder and faster, and you're doing it better than everyone else, they're like, oh shit, this guy ain't fucking around,
Right.
Because I that was a big thing with me. Like I was like, all right, I'm going to show these fuckers what's good as where I come from. This is how I work,
Right.
And then maybe some people will pick up on it and start working like that with you. You might have people that'll let you do the heavy lifting and they sit back because they know you're a hard worker already. Because I've had that happen too, where there was like slugs. And for like any hard job I have, if you're a slacker, I'm sorry, I don't give you, no satisfaction at all. I really don't respect you. I'll help you out, but like I don't like the slack.
And you know what bothers me too? Those are the same people that will like make excuses.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't hold any accountability for where they are. Like they don't like everything that where you are right now is 100% on you. Yeah. Like regardless if you were maybe influenced by the wrong things and you feel like that set you back on life, you still have to take accountability for that because at the end of the day, you fell for that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like if you never take accountability from it, then you'll never learn to learn from those mistakes because you're not even acknowledging them as mistakes.
No. You're hiding from the truth. And at the end of the day, it's gonna bite you in your ass every single time. I'll tell you that. And
you're just delaying the inevitable.
Delaying the inevitable, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's great about it is you should always want to do something for yourself, right? Too many people says, "Oh, I do this for my family," or "I do this for my friends," and sometimes, "Oh, I do this to prove people wrong," which is good. You can prove people wrong, but at the end of the day, you do it to prove stuff to yourself. And I had this conversation with a couple of my athletes and a couple of colleagues, right? And I told them, I said, you should always want to get better and do things for yourself. Maybe if you have a girlfriend, like someone's like, "Oh, I want to do this because I want to do this for my girlfriend, and eventually, we'll move here, blah, 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 blah." I said, never do that for her or someone else. Do it because you want to do it, because, you're putting in the work. Yeah, she might support you, but she's not there shooting with you in the gym, as Rick Ross would say. Because guess what?
Yeah, that brings me. Hold on, right? Before you say anything else, that brings me to another point. That like you have everything you do, you got to do it for yourself. Yeah. There's two types of motivations, right? Intrinsic and extrinsic. And intrinsic is the most powerful one. That's the motivation that comes from within. That's the motivation to do something not based on money, not based on external things like fame or like a certain accomplishment or a trophy. It's solely intrinsic. It just you're motivated to do it because that's what you want to do. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
So extrinsic would be just you're motivated by if I win this tournament I get $100, or
Right.
if I win this, then maybe I can talk to girls, or girls
the
will find
girl will like me. Yeah. That doesn't,
the
that
girl
doesn't
will like
work.
me because I'm important now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like that's good luck with that theory. Like,
Yeah,
that is-
the internal is much better than all the other ones. I've had that where I want to prove something to other people, but it burns out quick because you get tired.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the people that you're trying to prove wrong or right, they don't care at the end of the day.
They don't care. Yeah.
Only you
they
care.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Only you care. And I heard that too, even with a business or anything. You're not going to care for yourself or your business more than you. Everyone else, say that if someone's working for you, they're not going to care for it as much as you are. No one's going to care for yourself as much as you do. Maybe your mother or father. But that's how it is, because I was telling these kids, I'm like, if you do something for someone else, if you get there, they would think it's the coolest thing ever. And if you don't, they might laugh at you, or they might say, oh, that's all right, But at the end,
they're not even thinking twice about it,
Yeah, exactly.
They're not even thinking twice.
To you,
You're over here thinking about what they said. They don't even care about that shit anymore. And now you're sitting home thinking about it all night. It's like
that's where people cut themselves short. They cut themselves short, I feel like, because of what you guys are talking about. They don't know what motivation is because they never had someone to do it, motivate them, or they think they don't need motivation. They could be just like everyone else and mediocre and average.
Yeah, and that's given in. That's given into resistance where they take the easy way out because they don't think they're capable of more things because they surround themselves of negativity. They fall for being mediocre. And I tell people, if there's anything that you should fear, it should be the fear of being mediocre. Yeah. Right? Everyone has
average.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone
Average or savage. That's it.
Average or savage, baby. That's what it's about.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. But associated with that is they're too afraid of like some shit going wrong that they won't even try.
Right.
Like they discourage themselves. Oh, I won't be a doctor, or I won't be a lawyer, or I won't do this, or I won't go for that job promotion because they don't even feel like they're good enough for that.
Or they listen to other people. They listen to other people's excuses. Oh, don't be a lawyer, doctor. That's so many more years of school. Or you're going to spend this amount of money, trying to chase it free.
Oh, you're going to do this and that. And it's like, okay, but these people, you're going to let them make a life, a decision for you. Like, think about that. That's like, I'm living my life. I'm going to go to you, Ray, and say, hey, what should I do? Like you're going to be doing like curls, not paying attention to me, and you're just going to pick something.
You're just going to pick something out of a hat.
And then that's going to affect my whole life? What?
Right. Yeah. Because you're right. You're completely right. You'll ask people, and I tell people, you ask people all these different questions and advice of what you should do. You're either going to get 1,000 answers, when the one person you should listen to is yourself. What is your gut telling you? What are you telling yourself?
Yeah, that's the most important thing when it comes to decision making. Like, think about who is affected most by this decision, and then get their input. And so maybe if it's you and a girlfriend or something, and you guys, like, okay, this is gonna affect you, this is gonna affect me. I want to do this. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
All right. This is what I really want to do. So it's either we're doing it or see you later.
Get on the bus or get out of the way, as they say.
Yeah. But it's a crazy world. I hope people just get out there and just get as many experiences as you can.
Yeah.
Don't like.
I'm having technical difficulties, but
It's all right. We're not cutting it, Nicky. You're staying.
All right, good.
But you're right. Some people sell themselves short because they like to keep the safe
I
route.
need to say 2 cents on that topic that I should have brought up. I was having some problems with that, and I'm just gonna hold.
What are you
Just
trying
hold.
to balance the phone on like a camera?
I have a charger now plugged into the bottom of it, so my phone was about to die. It was at 1%, so I saved it. But talking about people holding themselves short, I've seen it 100 times. People going wanting to maybe move to another position at their job, scared because they don't know if they're going to fail or not like it. They might not like it, or they say, "Oh, wait, I don't think I could do it." Anything's possible. You put your mind to it. But I've had a friend where I was hanging out with because I have a couple. I have a lot of people in my life, but I talk to a few from throughout my life, the good people. So I haven't seen this guy in a while, and he's like, "Oh, come down to the skate park, and I'm skating with my friends. We'll talk." All right, I haven't seen you in a while. So he starts talking. Oh, his life sucks. I'm not really getting paid much at my job. I don't know what to do. And I said, bro, you gotta ease up on yourself. It sounds like you're going through it and you're putting yourself down. I said, bro, you need to put your application out there and try to get like a better job and change these problems. And he's like, oh man, I appreciate what you're saying. Not a lot of people talk to me like that. Like I don't really have any friends that are, So I said some other things. I'm not going to keep going on to what I talked about. So a couple months later, I see the kid like at a gas station and he says, yo, I want to say thank you. I was like, for what? He's like, for what you said that one day when, I was down and, you said some things and like, dude, I got a better job now. I'm working out a little bit, and I'm doing better in life. And I want to say thank you. I was like, wow, like it really felt good for me, as myself. I was like, wow, he took my, not took my advice, but I also hung out with him and another guy, and the kid said, dude, how old are you? And I told him his age. He's like, bro, you sound like you've been around the block way too long. I was like, I'm just being honest, man. Like, I'm just telling you the truth. I don't like, sugar cookie in it, because that's half of society is just, oh, it's going to be okay. And, oh, yeah,
It's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah.
Soft mentality,
Yeah, I can't stand that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and I see people complaining about these like little things, and I tell them, I was like, you think that's bad? You think that bad? Like, dude, if you think that's bad, I can tell you about a time. Not that I have a conversation like that or go into it, but like how I overcame something much greater than what this person's going on
Right.
with,
Yeah.
And they're
That's
like,
all
wow,
Yeah. And that's what I tell everyone. You never know if you never try. And the answer to every question you don't ask is always no. So you might as well ask the question anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Get comfortable with hearing the word no.
Yeah, I've heard no 1,000 times, and I'm gonna hear it even 1,000 more, but I'm gonna still go for it because I'm stubborn.
Yeah, you can't prevent that. Like you can't control everybody. You can't just put like a beacon and everyone's gonna say yes to you. It's not gonna work that way.
Yeah.
You got to build up that mental resilience to hear no and still going towards your goal, still going towards it. Like it's like hitting a wall and just running right through it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, thanks for that. Bye.
And even if it's a no, you could always maneuver. You can always maneuver around a no.
Yeah.
Make yourself undeniable, baby.
Or if they say no, maybe, with a disagreement and something between you and people, ask them maybe, instead of you feeling some type of way and you might get a little angry, ask them, why do you disagree in that, or what their view is? Because once you start learning views of different people, it's easy to, understand and communicate with these different personalities, you come across,
Yeah. They might start opening up about shit that, that they feel, which is causing them to be insecure, and why they're telling you no.
Right.
You might, why do you feel like you're not good enough or something? They might start opening up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Be like,
and that goes
like,
with,
okay, now I know
leadership.
Saying that to me.
Yeah.
Leadership, coaching, like, me and Ray talked about before. People open up to you. You learn
Yeah.
learn about them, and you find out what's going on.
What's
behind
really
the
going
scenes.
on. Yeah, and that's what a good leader is. You can lead by example and you can lead by relating, right? And as a coach, you have to relate to your athletes and you have to relate even to your coworkers if you want to be a leader because there could be so much things going on in their life, right? And it's sometimes it's not wrestling or it's not work. It's something in their life that's unbalancing.
Yeah.
Something personally that they're dealing with that they're stressing about that's making them mad. Not only it's not their fault if they're mad at you, it's just they got a lot of stuff going on. But once you balance it and you become relatable to them, they'll open up, and then they'll start believing in themselves because sometimes people just need someone to talk to and talk about different things, because sometimes people keep things inside them and they don't know what to do. And then they ask people for advice that they shouldn't be asking for advice, they'll give them the wrong answers and they won't care. That's
Or
why
make fun of them.
or
And
make
then
fun of them,
people,
right?
yeah, then they don't want to ask no more questions.
Yeah, I tend to sometimes I get in my own head too. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'll be overthinking a decision I made or something I said, and then I'll just think about it. Okay, like it's all right. I'm just gonna pick whatever makes me feel good. When it comes to decision making, like what decision, regardless of anything else, like what would I be more happy with, and then that's usually what I go for. And then everything else will follow.
Right. Yeah. And also taking a step back and appreciating what you have now. That's a big thing I need to work on. Because you're so driven on your goal and making more money, getting to where you want to go, working for a different company, getting on TV, showing off what you have, that you forget to look around and how life is beautiful.
Yeah.
What I have. I work at a great high school and coach a bunch of great kids. I see my mom and my sister all the time. You know what I mean? Like some people don't have that. And sometimes you have to take a step back and appreciate it. And Thanksgiving's coming up. So it's like being thankful for what's around you, but still be thankful for your hustle. Be thankful that you're hustling for something. Be thankful that you're going for your goal. Because sometimes we get wrapped up at this is what we want, that we don't appreciate getting there. And I know it sounds cliche. It's about the journey, not the destination. But once you start enjoying that chase and that drive, not to say it'll come easy, but it'll be a better time. You'll be a happier person.
Much better time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
I
see that
think
now.
we should. I think we should talk about some self care. We talked about a lot of
with self care. It's like appreciating
roughing it through and stuff like that. What it can't. Life can't always be about hard work and roughing it and stuff like that. What's a good work-life balance for you guys?
Yeah, work-life balance is important. Like last week, I went to Vegas. Finally had some time where I didn't have to do any work, but I went and saw my boy KP. I haven't seen him in a while, and I was like, I'm just gonna live. I'm gonna live his life.
It was like you had fun too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun going on the strip and stuff.
And you were just being yourself, with your friends.
Yeah, so that's a good balance. Another good balance. Working out, I work out every day. So that's just a healthy thing to do. But like I said, just appreciating what's around you, helping people out. That's a good balance. Because I don't know how to turn it off.
More specific, Let's get more specific. So like in a week, for me, all right, I'll share my own personal experience. So for like in a week's end, like you can't go to Vegas every weekend.
No, you can't.
That's like a one-time thing, let's say, or once a year, twice, whatever. So what do you do in like a week? Like for me, I go outside and I have a little fireplace and I sit by the fire, for like an hour at night at, around 6:00, maybe before or after dinner. And that's just my way to just kind of sit by the fire, let it warm my body up, and kind of just decompress from the day. That's something that is built into my routine. I work all day, and then I come home before I eat or after I do that. Like, what do you guys do in a week? Like,
yeah, honestly, I need to be better with this because if I'm not doing one thing, I'm working on another because I have my hands in so many things.
Yeah.
But I guess I do yoga once or twice a week. That could be something. It helps with my recovery and it helps with my body. So technically, that's a no. But No, sometimes it's like if someone has a problem, I'll like if I'm too busy, I'll stop what I'm doing and help them out. That's like kind of like a thing. But for me, there's no really off
That's
switch.
cool.
Yeah.
That's actually a cool thing. It's pretty creative too. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
What?
Like, you see someone in a parking lot like loading something up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, okay,
I do that. That's one thing I love doing, and I feel good. That's self-care, I would think.
Yeah.
Is I see, like, I talk to a lot of people, but I'll just talk to an old lady at the store and be like, "You having a good day?" And they're like, "Oh, blah blah." I seen the other day I went into the deli and there was 3 older gentlemen sitting at the table, and I just went over to them. They were all wearing veteran hats. I said, "Thank you guys for your service," and they looked at me like they were shocked, like that. I even said that, and they were like, "Thank you, young man. Blah blah. Have a great day." And I just felt so good. Another thing happened. I'm
Well,
at the
that's
mall.
funny. So basically, being nice to people is your self-care routine.
Yeah.
One,
That's good.
one,
Oh,
one,
that's
one of them is, and then I could talk about maybe like
going to
getting a
Belmar and
massage.
or going to
know,
Belmar with your friends.
uh,
That's another thing I do. If I have a weekend off, it's always Belmar
oh
or
yeah.
with my friends.
Well, that's part of
If that counts, Velez. Does that
if that
count?
counts. Yeah, we're talking about
That counts.
Yeah, we'll count that.
That
Yeah.
counts because
Vegas-
I love
count
doing that.
Oh yeah, my self-care routine. I go to Vegas. Oh, great.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but my self-care,
you-
like whenever I have time off, I hang out and go out with my friends. That's a self-care. That's a recovery. That's shutting your brain off and having a good time. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I give that to you. I give that to you. But my suggestion to you would be to build something in your daily routine, because you're only doing that. So you're working 5-6 days a week, and you're only going to do that 1 or 2 days a week. The ratio is kind of off.
I do the thing with the fireplace too. I got a fire pit I just made in my backyard. One time, maybe once a week by myself. Sometimes I'll just start up a little fire, watch it burn. It might burn for 15 minutes. It might burn for an hour. It might burn for 2 hours. I just sit there, listen to some music. Maybe sometimes I don't even listen to any music. I have my phone off and I just sit there and watch the fire. And I think about life. Maybe I'll look up at the stars. And it might sound
Yo,
corny.
I can't tell if he's joking or not. Like, I can't tell.
No. Before the podcast, I said, all right, I'm gonna have a podcast. So I went down to a little trail where I usually go. It goes to the train tracks, and there's a train tunnel. It was pitch black. I went there by myself, no flashlight, no nothing. I was a little, all right. Maybe I should have brought a knife or something. But I just sat on the top of the tunnel entrance, which is high up, and the river was right there. And you see the planes in the sky, the boats in the water, and you just listen to it. Was just the wind and like maybe some car horns and everything. But I was just taking in life. It's just being thankful for life. Where I am right now. The moon's up. The next day, the sun's gonna come. Sometimes I used to wake up 5 a.m. every day when I had no job. I was going through some things. I would go down to the water by the train tracks on the Hudson and watch the sunrise. And I would just sit there and
that's nice.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take time away either when you do something like that.
Well,
that's
why the summer. Yeah, you go next.
Because hold on. Let me finish my point here. So when you do something like that, you're more calm. You can think more clearly, and you can make better decisions.
Yeah.
So it actually speeds up like where you're going because you're able to think work more efficiently.
Yeah.
Just kind of being like a chicken with his head cut off, running around.
Yeah.
Like that's how Ray operates, I think.
Yeah,
and
I
see Ray keeps up at a high pace.
One of my flaws is I have a high pace and I have to solve something right now.
Yeah.
And like if I have something on my head or I have an issue that I have to fix or I'm mad about something, I have to resolve it right now. Where I should take Velez's advice where I can let it chill. The situation can be fixed tomorrow. I can overthink it because I'm very over irrational with some stuff. Like some things I think is a big issue.
I'll give you an example. When you do something like that, you decompress, right? You may think about it, and then your reaction or the way you address it is more advanced, and it actually propels propels to the solution a lot faster. Like it gets you to the solution a lot faster.
Yeah.
Because when you're reactive, it's like if you see something you can't solve the problem, and then you get reactive, you make the problem worse. It's like, okay,
100%. Yeah. When you sit down and just you sit back for a second, observe what's going on in your life, because you're sitting there in the still world. Let's say you put your phone down and you're just sitting there and you start thinking about life. Okay, I've been going a little too fast at work. I grind out 88 hours. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's money in the bank, I guess. All right, that was 88 hours of my life given to someone else. Okay, this is my life. Let me live what I want to do right here on earth. God has given me this life, and I'm going to sit here and enjoy life, which is nature and everything like that. Even if that's talking to your friends, hanging out with your friends. I don't say
that was a perfect definition of the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Perfect, absolute perfect definition. Yeah.
That's why I like hiking. I go on a nice hike. Sometimes I do it by myself, but you get into your head when you're by yourself. You have no music, no anything. You just go on a hike and you did it. I said, wow, I did it. And also look at this view that I'm able to. Some people.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. You should find those.
Are not gifted. Okay, that's how you say that.
Gifted and talented. But anyway, gifted and talented. Anyway, you guys.
I saw Velez's face, just half of it. I started laughing,
But you guys are right. And I know I overthink a lot of things, and I tell people the worst time to ask me about anything is right when I get to the gym, because I'm up on the pre-workout. I'm ready to get my workout in, and I'm ready to just grind. So if someone texts me, I'm like, I have to solve this issue. And that's why the summer is different for me, because my alone time and peaceful time is when I'm at the beach. Sitting at the beach or sitting at the Lifetime pool. That's where I come and I have my thoughts, But when I'm driving, or actually when I'm in the gym sometimes on the treadmill, my thoughts come and I write it down. But with people, if someone texts me something, I try to help them right away. And if I don't, and say that I catch myself in that kind of mindset, I say, if I don't answer your text right away, I'll get back to you and figure it out, because I'm going to give you a rushed answer, and I hate giving people rushed answers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's actually a good technique for you, because, it's you're giving yourself time to do what you're doing in that moment and not get distracted by a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
that's what we're all talking about. We're all talking about, living in the moment and not giving up your moment for distractions, doing what you're doing right now. We're sitting here. I got my laptop in front of me. I got, I'm chilling in a house, got a roof over my head.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what the people, I think, take it for granted. Even being able, not to get any of the political stuff, but to be able to live in a country like this where we could be doing the things we do and not have to worry about. Some people are given the bad luck card of, being in a country, maybe there's a war going on, or, maybe there's famine, and they don't get.
Oh, shit. Yeah, people don't realize that.
Yeah.
There's still genocides going on.
Yeah.
Small. I shouldn't probably speak on this because I don't really know what I'm talking about, but
no, there's genocides going on all over the world, and people don't even know. They think that posting a little thing on Instagram is going to stop
the end of the world. Yeah.
They're not going over there with guns and AKs and standing up for these people. Yeah. They're not doing that.
I know. Yeah.
Right.
So I see that's one thing with the generation coming. I see, like this for a donation to a random country. I'm like, one, you don't even know where that country is. Two, I doubt your fucking like's gonna send a donation to a poor kid living in a bomb crater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It does. It helps because it does bring an issue to it, and it makes people aware. So it's a good thing.
It fizzles out, man.
It does. Out. It's always about what's next, and
I guess you're right, Ray. You're right. It does bring awareness. I agree with that. So. I can see
brings awareness.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah,
it's better than nothing, right?
It's what can I do? Well, some people don't want to go over there and fight for fight for whatever, But you know what they could do? They can make a post and make something aware. So I think it's the next best thing.
Yeah.
Spread
Oh,
awareness.
that's what I
At
do.
least they're passionate about something.
Yeah.
And it gets people aware, and maybe it gets people to research into things.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, we were being a little critical with that, but yeah, no, you're right. Better awareness, better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But this year, like I've said, I'm working on patience. That's the big thing I'm working for, and that's accountability.
Hey, we're
not rushing.
talking about it right now, man. It's gonna happen. Don't worry, man. You're gonna be doing good. You know, this talk alone helped me out. You know, with you guys. You know, so
Patience is a virtue, and that's what I'm going to be.
It's good. It's good.
That's the whole point of this
people.
podcast. You know, we're giving gems out there. You know, these are gems from our life experiences. You can't argue any of this stuff. You know, whether you want to follow it or not. I'm not saying you should live your life based on anything we said in this conversation.
No,
but if you want to try some of it out, we tried to be positive. Throughout the whole thing, and if it works for you, then great, and if it doesn't, then sorry.
At the end of the day, you're accountable for yourself and what you do. You know, you could take 1,000 things and make it your own. Find what works for you. We covered a lot of stuff. We're gonna make sure we hold each of us accountable. That's pretty good topics for tonight. Maybe we'll have another session with the Nickies.
Yeah, I hope we said some stuff that like people can find it useful, and I hope we help them out in some way.
But at the end of the day, you're accountable for yourself. So make it happen, everyone.